Are you ready to get your sports banter on? Brian Heminger, love child of Albert Einstein and Howard Cosell, with a body chiseled by Zeus himself. Brandon Sharples, a man who could beat Mike Tyson in a spelling bee. Together, they form the At Odds Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after a brief hiatus due to some bullshit with Blog Talk Radio deactivating our premium account last week. We are back and we are better than ever. I'm your host, Brian Heminger, joined, of course, by silky smooth Brandon Sharples. Today's episode, we're going to be talking All-Star Game for Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge. We'll be debating Aaron Judge a little bit. We'll be talking sports, gambling stories, poker stories. You have them. We want to hear them. So if you want to call in, the number is 347-850-8386. So without further ado, let's bring in my co-host for the evening and always super sexy, super smooth, Brandon Sharples. How you doing, man?
Well, not much. What's up, guys? I'm happy to be back. Took a little hiatus. That's good because I got sick, but I don't care. I'm excited. We're talking about that gambling. That's my forte. Get to get you guys some good stories about my gambling, some bad stories about my gambling. Talking about NBA contracts. Brian didn't mention that. Actually, I didn't talk to you about that, Brian. I wanted to talk a little bit about these NBA contracts.
We can talk that too, of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. What have you been doing with your time off?
Playing a lot of video games. Man, remember that RimWorld game I gave out for people to check out from the first episode of the podcast?
Yeah.
I finally beat it. So
it took how many hours did that take you?
92 hours I did invest into the game. I mean, that's not all from one specific game, but it was probably 40 attempts to beat it. You always lose. You always just get your ass kicked over and over and over again. And I finally beat it. So that was my big accomplishment in our time off.
Dude, I have not played a video game in years. I'm not even kidding. I mean, granted, I played Madden here and there with some friends every once in a while if I come into a spot to play it, but I don't ever play video games. As a matter of fact, I got a PS4 and I got one of those bundle packs, and I got a video game, and I don't even Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted 2. And I haven't even opened it out of the plastic. I use my PS4 strictly for media, for movies, Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, all that shit. PlayStation View TV, everything.
Oh, so, I'm real bad about that. I have about 15 Xbox One games I've never played. Dude. And do you know? Have you ever heard of the Humble Indie Bundle or the Humble Bundle?
No.
Probably.
What the hell is that?
It's a computer game sale, where you donate whatever you feel like donating, and depending on what tier amount of money you donate, they will give you a set amount of video games, computer games. So, there's a Star Wars bundle. You donate $3 and you can get 8 Star Wars games, Rogue Squadron and all the shit for your computer. So every time I see those, it's such an insane deal. I just get it. And I've probably, I think I have about 60 games on my Steam account, and I've played about 4 of them. So, Jesus. I mean, it's getting ridiculous at this point, but I did start playing Witcher. I beat the first one. Witcher 3 is the one everybody always hyped up a couple years ago, won Game of the Year, but I want to beat them through. So I beat Witcher 1. I'm working on Witcher 2. I started playing that today a little bit.
Dude, I'm telling you what, I only played Halo 2 back in the day, and I played a little bit of Madden and NCAA football. Other than that, man, I haven't been really big into. I tell you what I do play with my kids though. I got them one of those little Sega Minis, man. I'll play Sonic the Hedgehog like crazy. some Mortal Kombat, like the old Sega Mortal Kombat.
Sonic the Hedgehog was so goddamn good. I would look forward to going to the orthodontist and having him stretch out my teeth and fuck with my mouth just so I could play Sonic the Hedgehog in the lobby. It was that fun.
I loved going to like Kmart and shit when I was a kid with my parents. Like, so I'll be like, all right, I'll see you later. I just disappear into the fucking video game section. Dude, I like the original Nintendo Sonic on Sega, like Nintendo 64. I like those games, those systems better than the new shit. Like, I still have my 64. I still have regular Nintendo, and I have the Sega. Those games to me are more fun.
Like, yeah, there was like this golden age. Fuck, I gotta silence my phone. But there was this golden age of N64 when we would, after school, like we would have basketball. I would always look forward to having basketball practice, the late practice. And after school, we would all go over to Favreau's and we would just play GoldenEye or Star Fox or Battle Tanks or, you name Perfect Dark. Like, it was just constant, like, 4-man games. It was so goddamn fun. And then Xbox came out, the original. And that's when we got real degenerate with the 16-man majors basement parties. I don't know how much you were into that, but I was always at the fucking Halo parties and Major's basement when we'd hook everything up, and my name was Sweet Jones. That was my Halo character name. And every time I'd kill Burbach, he'd be like, Sweet Jones. I made mine Invisibrian to make fun of Bentledge.
Yeah. I remember
because Bentledge, like the first time he ever played, Matt Bentledge, the first time he ever played with him, he grabbed the camouflage and he goes, invisible Bentledge, invisible Bentledge. And everyone's like, you're such a faggot. And so my first time playing, they didn't even invite Bentledge, and I made my name Invisibrian. Everyone thought it was fucking hilarious. So I just kept it like that forever. We were such dicks to Bentledge back then, man. Like,
that whole scene was cool. Remember the Mama Rose's pizzas?
Every time we would always have a break for Mama Rose's pizzas.
Yeah, we burned the fuck.
I would usually drink about at least 2 liters of Mountain Dew, Code Red Mountain Dew.
Shit, Code Red Mountain Dew. I forgot all about that shit.
Oh
my Lord.
And Steve, I think, briefly gave himself type 2 diabetes from Wild Cherry Pepsi because of how much he drank. Like you said, like he started getting headaches when he wasn't drinking like more than a 6-pack a day.
like in withdrawals, like an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Dude, that's too funny. No, my dude, I'm telling you what, I loved Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing was one of my favorite games of all time. It was actually the first like serious, like you had a bunch of missions. It was almost similar to like how you would like Mario 64. Remember I had all those missions.
Mario
and stuff.
Kart 64.
Well, yeah, no, Mario 64, like actual Mario. Okay. Diddy Kong actually had the similar shit. Diddy Kong was like you actually went through and you would do missions and like levels. And it was like the first game that actually cars. Yeah, and flying in little planes. You had to get like these special keys that were hard as fuck to find. And I beat that game. Oh, dude, I beat that game from start to finish. It was one of my favorite games. And I tell you what, I got so desperate to find a key one time. These little keys that was like part of the. I beat the whole game, and the last thing I had to do was find these hidden keys. I actually stopped Stephen Whiting. Our listeners don't know who that is, but picture your most like random nerdiest kid in your class that kind of just goes through the hallway without anybody noticing him. Well, I stopped our version of that. His name's Stephen Whiting. I stopped him in the hallway and got fucking Diddy Kong pointers from him because I knew he played the game. And get this shit. He didn't have to do anything. I told him exactly the level and where the key is. He fucking told me in the snap of a finger, dude. He told me exactly what and how and when and where. Like, this fucking kid is a genius. And nobody knows how good he is at video games. It was great.
Now, did you ever play like the WWE games, like WWE WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy on 64?
I played WWE versus NWO.
Okay.
Or
no, that was WCW. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, I fixed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what
that was all like the same style of game. But
yeah,
when we would go over to Favreau's, they would have all these created characters. And Mike Favreau, I'm not joking, every single one of his created characters, their entrance and taunt was the Blue Meanie. And he would come out and be like raising the roof, and he'd like have this huge fat gut. He'd be like rolling around.
Do you remember Goldust?
So oh yeah, I mean Goldust is still wrestling. Did you know that?
Dude, I played with him. I was always playing Goldust.
Shattered Dreams. He'd put him in the corner and kick him in the nuts.
Dude, hey, Lobs just texted me. He's like, Night of 1,000 Betrayals. You remember we betrayed each other 1,000 times? First to 1,000 betrayals.
All right. For those that aren't familiar, there's like this was like a defining point of my high school career when we first started playing Halo. Like I showed up, like they'd already been playing like a couple nights, but I showed up the first night I played. People started like trying to get out of Blood Gulch in the original Halo, and I was just murdering the shit out of everybody, like actually playing, and they're trying to like do this physics shit and get out of the level. And Corey Cantu is like, yo, Hemi, stop killing us. We're trying to do something here. So, and I just keep fucking blasting him. And then he's like, I'm serious. I'm going to kick your ass if you don't stop. And like, he just escapes the level, and I blow his ass up with the tank. And he just comes over to me, picks me up, and slams me through the stairs at Major's like basement, like the rail.
Fighting over video games.
Yeah, and we crashed. We broke the rail of the stairs, and then we're like rolling around, and he's just like wrestling and holding me down, and then and everybody like we stop. So I get my ass kicked basically over betraying him in Halo, and then I just started shooting the shit out of him again, and he just looks over and just starts shaking his head like this crazy motherfucker, and that was it for me. Like once after that, I was in. But the Night of 1,000 Betrayals. Okay, if people don't remember, there was a level called Chiron, the worst level in the game. Like so not fun. Every level. Every part of the level was like a tiny room that had a shit ton of teleporters. And I mean, it was just the least fun thing you could possibly do. So we just started killing each other. And every time you kill somebody, you get -1. So we were the goal was to get to -1,000. So, I mean, you were doing everything you could. Like people are throwing grenades, throwing rockets, and you'd be trying to kill your teammates and then like dive on an enemy grenade so you die and give them a kill, so they'd have to kill 2 of their teammates to make up for it. I mean, it was absolute carnage. It took over an hour at least to get to -1,000 because I mean the game ends at 50 kills. There was no time limit, so it's just we're just waiting to see who could finally hit that -1,000 marker. But oh man, that was a good time.
All right, let's get off the video games now.
Yeah,
what we got?
Because like, all right, let's talk. Well, yeah, we're going to talk the All-Star Game and Aaron Judge in particular. But let's start with the All-Star Game. American League wins 2-1 last night. Robinson Cano hits the go-ahead home run late in the game off of Wade Davis, the lone Chicago Cub in the All-Star Game, and he wasn't even on the Cubs last year. And he ends up costing the National League home field advantage in the World Series. What did you think? Anybody stand out for you? Want to get your thoughts on the All-Star Game?
I mean, it was a tight game, so it was a little bit. I didn't really care. The All-Star Game's the All-Star Game, you know what I mean? But what kind of disappointed me was that these lineups, especially the NL, had a shit ton of power in it, and I can't believe there was only one run apiece going into the 10th inning. I couldn't believe they couldn't put more.
Pitching beats great hitting.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, outside of like, and Kershaw didn't even pitch. Outside of that, like, I don't know. I just don't think. I think the pitching was whack. I think all the pitchers that were in there were shitty, except for like 3 of them. I wasn't.
It started with Scherzer versus Sale.
That's what I'm saying. I said 3 of them. I only cared about 3 of these people. I'm telling you that right now. And I did not think that pitching would hold up against that hitting. That hitting is way better than the pitching.
The Rangers players do?
I don't think they even got a hit. I'll take
how many Rangers All-Stars were there?
2.
I'm trying to remember who made it.
I don't know.
Yeah, who made the All-Star team from the Rangers? I don't even remember.
God damn it. I don't even think he got into the game. God damn it.
I doubt it was a pitcher.
No, it was not a pitcher. It was Darvish. He was a lone one.
Oh, Darvish? He was the only one?
Yeah, he was the only one. I thought that never mind. Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Well,
I don't give a shit about the All-Star game outside of the
That's why, because you didn't have any All-Stars. Indians sent 5 All-Stars. Kluber didn't play because he pitched on Sunday, so they didn't want to stretch him out. But Jose Ramirez started. I thought that was amazing that he started third base over Sano, Josh Donaldson, and Manny Machado. Why don't you like Jose Ramirez?
Him and his little faggy ass fucking like dip in his mouth. He looks like such a fucking douchebag. I hate that motherfucker. I can't believe he's even a goddamn all-star or he's even batting over 300. He's just a fat fuck at third base. Fuck him. I hate that whole fucking team.
He's batting .332, 17 home runs, and he went 2 for 2 in the All-Star game with the stolen base.
Yeah, I don't care. Because you know what? The minute – you know what? Do you know who he is? He's a fucking 1-year wonder. He's maybe like a 2-year wonder. And
a 2-year wonder? Come on.
Yeah,
he's one of the best.
He's a fucking shitstorm.
You're out there hyping up Aaron Judge when the real truth is Jose Ramirez.
How can you not hype up Aaron Judge? I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron Judge is going to be the best player in baseball within the next 2 years.
All right.
On top,
we're going to talk Aaron Judge. All right. You have an extreme love affair with Aaron Judge. I'll let you go first, and then I am going to just smash every one of your points.
Okay, so here we go.
Let's hear your pros on Aaron Judge.
No, you want to hear something?
Yep.
Jose Ramirez is a fucking turd. Okay. Jose Ramirez in 2 years is not going to be in the All-Star game. He is not. He's going to fall off. I bet you if he got traded right now to, like, say, the A's and he wasn't in a protected lineup, he wouldn't be shit. 2, Lindor is the only good player.
He's the one protecting the lineup. He's batting 5th.
No, he's a fag.
He's the one protecting Brantley and Encarnacion. So that is I'm already smashing that point right now.
He is not protecting. Oh, no, he's not. They stuck him in 5th because they don't have any other power outside of Encarnacion and Brantley. Nobody else has a power bat, so they have to plug him in at 5. He's a power hitter.
Lindor's got like 14 or 15 home runs. Chisenhall's got about 13 home runs.
Lindor is a beast. I love Lindor. He's the only player on the entire team that I like. He's literally the only player on the entire team.
So much better than Lindor, though.
I don't care. He's not in the long term. I'm telling you, if you traded Lindor to like the Rangers or the A's or anybody, he's going to be one of the best players on the team. You trade Ramirez, I guarantee he falls off. Guarantee.
No way.
I can just tell. I'm not high on him at all. And he just looks like a douche with that big ass fat chew in his mouth. And then you got fucking Kipnis. He's a little midget fuck. He looks like a chipmunk.
I got no problem with hating on Kipnis. I think Kipnis will be gone soon. They might even move Ramirez to second base.
Good. Move Ramirez to second base. You would have the fattest second baseman in baseball.
He is not fat. He just has like a chubby looking face. There is nothing fat about him. He's leading the team in stolen bases.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
He's leading the Indians in stolen bases.
Listen to you. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving you any credit for your team. I'll give Kluber credit for his little stretch of like what? He had like 10K in like 4 straight starts.
5 straight. He set the club record. I was at the game. He beat Bob Feller's record.
Good, Bob Feller.
Hell of a June.
Another overrated Cleveland Indian.
Oh, God, go fuck yourself.
No, all right. Let's get into Aaron Judge and how fucking amazing he is. Go ahead.
I'll give Aaron Judge some props. I mean, he's having an amazing start, but there's just no way it's sustainable. I mean, okay, he entered this season as like the 82nd ranked prospect in baseball. Okay, he is having a season that would be like the best prospect in baseball, and it's just not true. Like, none of his measurables throughout his entire career make sense for what he's doing right now. Like, in terms of home runs, he never hit more than 19 in an entire season. He hit 20 in 2015. And he's got 30 already in the first half. He's striking out more than he's ever struck out in his minor league career.
First of all, he's up to the majors now, dude, with a better pitching or better. Okay, he's facing better pitching in practice, and then he has better hitting coaches. I mean, he's at Yankee Stadium now. He's blasting fucking homers out of Yankee Stadium because it's a hitter friendly park. But he's blasting 500 feet home runs now with a smooth stroke. I'm telling you,
he is.
I am telling you this much. He's good. Right. When you're down in the minor leagues and you're not surrounded by the type of hitting coaches that you have in the majors. On top of that, you have piss poor lighting. You have no protection around you because a lot of the good bats are already in the majors. So, there's not a lot going on in the minors that really bothers me with him. As far as I'm concerned, as soon as he got to the majors,
we need to make a bet. He is batting .329 right now. Okay. I say by the end of the season, he is not batting over 300.
What? You're high as a kite.
I promise you.
Listen.
I promise you.
Oh, my Lord.
Are you going to take my bet or not?
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure.
All right. We will let the listeners decide what the bet will be, but we have here's why, okay? You know about BABIP. It's the batting average of balls in play, and that's balls in play. This is not counting his 30 home runs, okay? Those are thrown out the window. This is any ball that is hit with a possibility of someone to make a play on it, okay? Whether it's a pop-up, a line drive, a grounder, whatever. If he hits the ball and it does not leave the stadium, that's what BABIP means. And most players that are really fast, like Ichiro and shit, they had a BABIP of like 360, 370.
Yeah.
Most players like Judge that are the bigger, not quite as fleet of foot, but I mean still, they're usually around the 300 range. And if they're really can crank the ball, and maybe it's in like the 320 range. His best for his entire career was last year in AAA. He had a 319 BABIP. This year, it's 426. There is no way that's sustainable. He's striking out 30% of the time, and then somehow in 426% of all balls he puts in play are hitting the ground and safely without getting thrown out or caught. That is just absolutely unsustainable. It's just not going to happen.
That would be because
part of it he's hitting the ball hard, but a big part of that is luck too. And there is always going to be regression to the mean. And when that BABIP starts to drop, he is going to have his batting average absolutely tank.
It's not going to tank. Okay, first of all, it's going to be up there when you're hitting 30 home runs before the All-Star break, dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's less than 10 people.
30 home runs are thrown out. Those have nothing to do with BABIP. Zero.
He has 3 triples and 13 doubles.
So what?
3 triples.
Yeah, 13
He's 6'7".
doubles. Again, 13 doubles, that's a bad thing. That shows that he's not very fast. He should not have a BABIP that high. Like, BABIPs that high are from people that can beat out infield rounders.
Did you miss the 3 triples?
So what? Edwin Encarnacion has 2 triples. Doesn't mean he's fast.
He has 6 stolen bases. He's only been caught 2 times. He's only struck out 109 times. It is.
I'm just telling you right now. He's striking out a lot, and his BABIP is ridiculous, and it is not going to last. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying people need to temper their expectations because he is going to fall off in the second half. And I don't want people shitting on him.
Hey, do you know who's
Let's hear who's going to fall off. All right.
Jose Ramirez.
Do you want to know why Jose Ramirez isn't going to fall off? All right.
He's going to fall off.
It's not. It's just not how it works. He's so extremely talented, okay?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. All right, let me get up the stats on Ramirez so I can shit on you.
While you're doing that, I'm going to talk about Judge, okay?
All right.
You're talking about you always go back to the mean. There's always a limit. You hit the mean eventually. Well, yeah, those kind of rules don't apply when you're the greatest baseball player of all time, and when you are a Greek god at 6'7", 282 pounds.
This is gonna be the easiest bet of all. Richie Sexton was 6'7" too. He didn't end up being a god.
First of all, Richie Sexton did not swing the bat like Judge does. Ricky Sexton put about as much torque as a fucking hot rod. That's why his whole entire body gave out on him within 3 years of being decent in Milwaukee. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
You need to figure this out.
My numbers.
You need to figure Aaron
I got
Judge
my numbers on Jose Ramirez. Okay. Jose Ramirez, right now, he is batting .332 on the season. His BABIP, .339. That's actually about right where his career average is, even a little lower. He only strikes out 11% of the time, and he walks 8 points. He almost walks more than he strikes out. Like, he's stolen 10 bases. Like, 17 home runs. Like, I'm telling you right now.
How many times has he struck out?
How many times total?
Yeah,
he's striking out 11. Okay, he's striking out 11.6% of the time compared to Judge's 29% of the time. Total strikeouts. Let me find it. 42 on the entire season.
Yeah,
42.
Man, how do I know
that? I'm telling you, okay.
Genius.
Jose Ramirez is extremely talented. He has one of the best pitch recognition in baseball. Like, he does not swing outside the zone. And that's part of what's helping him have these like last year, he had a great season. He batted over 300. And then this year, I mean, it's just a continuation. I mean, last year he only hit 11 home runs. He's already hit 17.
He had bat 314 last year? I'm not even looking at his stuff. Yeah. Is that what he batted last year?
I think so. Yeah. 312.
312. Yeah, I mean, this is an anomaly. 10%. He already had 17 home runs. Hold on, I got a question. So why can Jose Ramirez go from 11 home runs for a whole season to 17 before the All-Star break? And that's just because he's a talented player and he improves. But Judge hits 30, and you're saying, well, his past results don't equate to this average.
I'm not saying he won't keep hitting home runs. I'm saying all of his other stuff won't keep up. I wouldn't be shocked if he hit
300 home runs. I don't care. He's going to hit 60 home runs.
He is not hitting 60. He will hit 50. He will hit 50, but I doubt he gets 60. All right, another bet. No, he will not hit 60.
Ward, what's our bet for the average? What do I got to do for you?
We haven't figured those out yet, but we just know that the bet's there.
All right, we'll have our audience tell us.
Yeah.
Great. I'm probably going to have to run down the street like a pole in my ass or something. Listen.
No, I'm not that sadistic.
No, I said the audience gets to pick. So we'll have like 103. We'll have 300 or 400 people telling us.
But anyway, the whole reason Ramirez last year, I mean, he didn't even have a set position until the All-Star break. They had Juan Uribe starting at third base. Like, he broke out. Like, Ramirez was basically the utility guy playing outfield, second base,
he wasn't good enough to start over. He wasn't good enough to start over Uribe. That's what you got to remember.
It was because they signed Uribe. Like, they didn't even know Ramirez was going to be able to play third. But then Uribe started sucking, and Ramirez was doing so good that they just had to keep him in the lineup at any position possible every day. And then eventually they just let Uribe go and just had Ramirez start at third base the rest of the season.
Yeah,
that's how it works. And Ramirez, here's the other thing: Ramirez is younger than Judge. He's 24 years old.
1 year, bro.
I know, and he's been with the Indians.
All right, like so. I will bet. I bet you that I'll bet you. We'll bet something, but I bet you Judge hits 60 this year.
Okay, we got 2 bets now. Judge, I say Judge won't be batting over 300 by the end of the year, and I say Judge will not have 60 home runs by the end of the year.
Okay, so he's gonna definitely be batting over 300. Dude, his career average is 296. And granted, he doesn't have very many bats, but still, I'm telling
his
you right
minor's career is 278.
Yeah, so you're acting like this dude is like a typical.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's a bad hitter. I'm saying he just is not an over 300 hitter.
I watched him hit a home run for Fresno State during the College World Series. Not the actual. He didn't make the World Series. The actual during the regionals. He hit a fucking home run farther than I've ever seen anybody hit a college ball. It soared out of the stadium. I'm telling you, he's ridiculous. He's going to be one of the best players of this generation. He's going to be the face of baseball.
Quick. I'm going to calculate what Aaron Judge's batting average would be right now if he had Jose Ramirez as BABIP. So this will take me a second.
How do you do that?
How do you do it? Well, BABIP is the batting average of balls in play, so it ignores strikeouts and it ignores home runs. So all you do is you just take that as their batting average and then have that be the at-bats. And then you add the at-bats of the strikeouts and have them be all not hits, and then add every at-bat of home run and have that be a hit.
Okay, wait. So clearly you should be working for NASA right now. But let me look at the Indians real quick here.
All right.
I'm gonna go over some stuff. All right, so let's look at your pictures right now. Cody Allen, douchebag. Blow saves. Trevor Bauer, fucking douchebag. Carlos Carrasco, I like him. Clevenger, he's young. Goody. Tell me about Goody.
Nick Goody? Indians traded for him from the Yankees. He started the year with 28 straight innings without giving up a run. He's been a little shitty lately, but he seems like a pretty good deal.
All right, so we're going Corey Kluber. Kluber sounds like something you do in a bathroom. Like, I got to go take a big fat Kluber. That's Corey Kluber. He's horrible. And Zach McAllister, bitch. Andrew Miller, probably best pitcher in baseball. Otero, overrated. Shaw, looks like he should be working at 7-Eleven. Like, he looks like he should be working a snack line when I go fucking golfing. Like, seriously.
All right.
He's like a fat mustache dude that's like, he looks like Melissa McCarthy's husband. Dude, like the air marshal on Bridesmaids, that's literally who Brian Shaw looks like. He does not look like a ball player. I would never sign him.
I've figured out what his BABIP or batting average would be.
Dude.
He'd be batting 245 if he had Jose Ramirez as BABIP.
It's not his fault that he doesn't bat that shitty. Okay? It's not his fault that he puts balls in play and they fall.
I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm not saying it's not his fault. I'm just saying he's been lucky. He has.
When you line the ball 150 miles an hour all the time.
There is no one in history that has even batted higher than 302 ever that has a strikeout rate that high. Ever.
Yeah, well, you want to know something?
Of baseball. So it's just not going to happen.
He's going to hit the ball. He's going over 300, and then he's going to hit 60 home runs. He's going to have the greatest rookie season in history, and you're going to owe me.
All right.
What the hell has Bob got to say? Jesus, that was like Einstein shit. Yeah, Lob's like, where the fuck did you get this math from? All right, so listen. Quick thing. All-Star game.
All right.
Do you think that it should deal with home field advantage for the World Series?
No, absolutely not. There's only one time it should ever deal with home field advantage. Okay. Here's my rule on home field advantage is it should be who wins the interleague games. If the American League wins more interleague games, they get home field advantage. They play each other. That should explain it right there. I think that's extremely fair. And if they tie, then have the All-Star game decided. Like the All-Star game should be the tiebreaker. That's it. I think that's extremely simple. They play each other in the regular season. I think they play each other an equal amount, obviously. So whoever wins the more games should have home field advantage. I think alternating it was stupid, but at least that seems fair. Like that was the better league that year, so they should get it. Yeah. Not just that league's stars beat the other league stars. That should only factor in as a tiebreaker. You think that's a good idea?
That's not a bad idea at all. He says, yeah. Dude, did you ever play like fun softball? I remember one time we had this thing. If you struck out, you had to do some crazy shit. So we had a dude that struck out, and he had to crush an empty beer can between his ass cheeks.
Oh, Jesus Christ! We had an adult softball league last year. I never struck out, but in I think one of the last games I fouled out. Like I hit a foul ball with 2 strikes. I don't know if that counts.
Dude, I struck out in a pitch softball game last year. Do you want to know the circumstances?
I've never swung and missed to strike out in softball.
Let me tell you what happened. All right, so we're playing this game. I literally put 2 out. I already put 2 out. I knocked 2 over the fence that game. I had 2 home runs. I wanted to hit 3. I hit 2 foul balls over the fence. They both went foul. They were talking shit. Oh, Travis, you're about to strike out. They're like, I'm like, laughing and giggling. And it was a chick pitcher. She floats me one, dude. This thing was perfect. I swing as hard as I possibly could. I was trying to send this shit to the moon, and I struck out. It was so embarrassing.
Rookie of the Year style, man.
Bro, I was Rookie of the Year style. Straight up. It was Rookie of the Year style. Floater. I just swung. Throw the floater. Yeah, I should have teed that shit off. And I did. I was crushing the ball all game. I put 2 out. But not that time, man. I was the only person on the entire team that struck out that year. And I'm the dude that's smoking the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never hit a home run last year. I did hit a triple. And with me, my fat ass running around the bases, I mean, I really had to crush it. So, but that felt pretty good.
We had another thing where we like, all right, so if you we had a rule as like a group of guys I golf with. If you didn't hit the ball past the women's tee, like if you topped it, you had to like do all kinds of crazy shit. So we had a dude. Here's another thing with a beer bottle in an ass. He had to pull his pants all the way down, hanging out and everything. He had to tuck a beer bottle, like the neck in between his ass cheeks and tee out that way. And if he didn't make it past the women's tee again, he had to sit on the beer bottle.
You guys really like sticking shit up your asses.
It never got to that point, though, but shit was ridiculous. I remember the one time this dude had to rip his pants all the way down his ankles, and there was a group of 4 ladies on the other tee box, and his dick was out playing his day, flopping around, and he's freaking teeing off. And all the ladies were just like putting their hands up over their eyes like visors, like trying to see what the fuck we're doing. We're all laughing. Beer cans are flying out of the damn carts. That shit was ridiculous. I don't care, though. I had a great time. Dude, let's get into some gambling stories.
All right. I love me some gambling stories. So, all right. I think this is a good time to ask if anybody has any cool gambling stories they want to tell, whether it's poker, whether it's sports gambling, you name it, at the horse track. Just call in 347-850-8386. We want to hear them. So I'll start with a simple one. It might have been at Adam Burbach's graduation party, or at least there was like a party over at Adam Burbach's, and all the guys were over there. We're playing poker. Fucking first hand of the game, I get dealt pocket 7s, and the board is 2-7-10. And fucking Wes Bergman bets, and I min raise him, like, because I'm trying to trap him, and then he min raises me, and I fucking min raise back, and then he just looks at me, and he's like, "I'm all in," and I'm like, "I call." Fucking pocket 10s, so fucking overset, and I'm out on the first hand of the fucking tournament. It was brutal. I was so pissed.
Yeah, what do you do for the rest of the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just had to sit there like a douchebag because, I mean, we weren't even drinking yet. So I was just sitting there drinking my Code Red wine.
Yeah, getting diabetes. So like, no, dude. Oh man, my buddy. I was trying to get him to call in because he's got some straight up crazy gambling stories. Of course, he's at the gym pumping iron, dad bod going on, so it's cool. But listen, I have a fucking story. That was a whack story, Hemi. You got worse beats than that.
I know, but that was just a good one to get things started. That's a good one to get things started.
Shit. Well, hey, no. Tell everybody about your fucking Browns game. That's a story to tell.
Oh God! All right,
that's real money.
That was
all right, guys.
Money.
Listen to this. Go ahead, Demi.
Well, I had a lot of money on my 5 Dimes gambling account because I hadn't cashed out in like forever.
Yeah,
and I should have cashed out. I had about 14,000.
14,000.
Yeah, and
nice.
I lost about $2,000 betting on MMA the night before, and I was pissed. Just like whoever it was I bet, like they completely shit the bed, and it was just terrible. So, and I was just really mad about it. And so I'm just like, all right, I'll take an easy one. And the Browns were playing the New Orleans Saints, and it was their home opener. The Browns had lost, I think, 8 home openers in a row. The Saints were expected to be a Super Bowl contender, and the Saints were like a 3-1 favorite. And I'm like, easy money. And I think I risked. I bet to win like $3,000, like or almost $3,000.
What you bet 12,000.
It was over. It was about $10,000. Yeah.
So you bet $10,000 on the Browns, or no?
On the Browns,
you bet 10,000 to get what, about 2.9K, somewhere around there.
Yep.
So you risk 10K to win.
The Browns convert a 4th and like 11 to with like out of timeouts. They convert a 4th and 11, and then they kick a field goal as time expires to win the game. I've never been more pissed that my favorite team won a game in my entire life. Like I was rock bottom for me for like a couple months. I was like so depressed. Like, and my mom was like, when are you going to cash out from 5 Dimes? It's been a while. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just, saving up. I'm saving. I could not like tell her that I lost $10,000 or $12,000 basically in one weekend.
Oh man,
Jesus.
I couldn't tell my mom.
I've had years where that's like how much I made for a whole year, like working. But thank God, like 3 months later, I hit like the jackpot of a night where I won every one of my bets on this super parlay, and I won like 18,000 in one night. Basically, made it all back, and then it's up. But I was in a bad place, man. I've never felt so shitty. There's no worse feeling than seeing so much money disappear like that. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. It really is. I've never risked that much ever again. Not even close.
Dude, like, okay. So what was this, like 2014? Yeah, 2014.
Yeah. I'm
playing poker on this poker site called Carbon Poker. And I put $50 on there and I lost it. So I was like, fuck this. This sucks. But I was like, I'll put $50 more on there. I would always put more than that, but I was literally new to the site and I kind of didn't like it at first. But I started playing Pot Live in Omaha. I ran that $50 into like almost 29K within 3 weeks. So I'm sitting there at 28K. I got 15 out, right? I got $15,000 out. I cashed it out. It came out. I ran it back up to 28K. So I went from 28K to 0 in 2 weeks. 28K to 0. Didn't get another cash out. Granted, I'm up $14,950 total, but it felt like a punch in the stomach. It felt like I lost $28,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had some pretty bad beats. I had this hand. This is my worst beat ever as far as like for the highest amount of money. It was $6,800 and some dollars. This pot was. And I'm playing Pot Limit Omaha, so people that know that you get 4 cards instead of 2. It's basically Hold'em, but you get 4 cards instead of 2, and you have to play 2 cards. You can't play like 4 on the board. Blah blah blah. So, anyways, I'm a 4 cards. I have 2 4s in my hand, and I flop quads. It comes 4 4 5. I flop quads, and I'm deep stacked. I'm sitting with probably 29 to 3,000. And it's a 3-way pot, but another guy only had like 1K in front of him. And basically the turn's a 7 and the river's a 7. So all of a sudden this dude starts potting back with me. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, he's got to have like 7-5 or, I mean, something along those lines. He's got a boat. He's at the nut boat and he's coming back at me. We finally get it in. The pot's almost $7,000. And this fucking dude got runner quads. He got runner 7s, and I flopped quads. So it was the biggest loss. It was the biggest pot that I've ever lost, and that's how I lost it.
So the flop was 4 4 5, and he had pocket 7s, and it was runner 7 7. And was he betting with the 7 just the over 7s?
No. And then what happened was I had like ace king 4. I had ace king 4 4 and 2 double suited. He had 7 7 like. Probably king 10, something stupid. And the other dude had aces. Well, so it got potted big, and on the flop it went 4 4 5, and the dude with like only a K in front of him, he potted for his entire stack. So I smooth called him. The other dude calls him. He just calls with 7s. That's it. He turns the fucking boat, and so he pots at me. And I just literally, I'm smooth calling as he's potting, and then the 7 comes on the river, and I pot. He pots me back, and then I potted all in because that's basically how it was. Actually, I potted on the river, and he just called because my pot was the rest of my stack. So he didn't raise me. He just called my pot, and then he flipped up to 7s. He got runner quads, which is like a fucking anomaly.
Like a bad beat bonus or something?
Hell no, they didn't even have a bad beat bonus. If this shit happened to me like at the casino, I would have won like $20,000.
Yeah.
So that shit was crazy. I had another beat. This wasn't for that much. It was probably like a $600 pot. Like nothing crazy. Still a lot of money. It's not like a chump change, but it's not like that. But I had 8-9 diamonds. I was actually playing limit, 15-30 limit. So $15, $30 blinds. And I had like $10,000 at the table. So what happens is at this table, there's unlimited stack. And when I had that huge bankroll of like 29K, I would bring a shit ton of money with me just to basically show off. So one time I sat with like $25,000 at this table just to sit with 25,000, right? You can't lose it because it's a limit. So it's not like somebody can just jam you all in. You're going to lose a bunch of money. So I just sat there as like basically like a big swinging dick type thing. You know what I mean? And I get 8-9 of diamonds, and the flop comes Jack 10 Queen of diamonds, and I flop the fucking straight flush. The other dude, we're like betting back and forth the entire time, and pot grows. He only had like a couple hundred in front of him. Pot grows about 600. He fucking had ace king. He had a royal.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So those are a couple bad beats I've had. Don't even get me started on the tournament beats, dude. I had a bad one the other night. This tournament paid out like $18K. It was a $100K guarantee on Bovada. And I'm playing that, and I have deuces. I'm sitting on the button, and I smooth call like a min raise. And the flop comes 2 queen 10. Or no, 2 queen 9, rainbow. Dude jams under the gun, jams his entire stack into me. And this would have put me in the top 5 stack of a tournament that pays you 18.5K. And it's deep. We're deep in the tournament. Like, I bubbled this is basically what happened. I snap call this dude. Actually, yeah, I snap call because he jammed on me. Dude, the other dude fucking calls. He has nothing. He had like 8s, but he had like a short stack, so he just calls off. Dude has ace queen of hearts. I have him fucking drilled. Fucking turn is a 10 of hearts. River, king of hearts. He got runner hearts. Knocked me out of the tournament. If I would have held up, I would have had top 5 stack on the bubble, like within the bubble. So I'm having a top 5 stack deep in the tournament. So you're talking, I mean, I had a great chance to win a lot of money at that time. So it was rough. It was rough, man. But I'm telling you, gambling in general is ridiculous. Like, it's just not something that's sustainable, in my opinion. It's not something I would put my entire life on. Like, all this money that I'm talking about is just like extra shit. You know what I mean? It's like that's not going to change my life. But
I'll talk about the first.
Like the winnings, like the winnings change your life. Like that $28K. Like I got $15K out. Like that seriously helped me out. You know, it's $15,000 fucking dollars. Like that I didn't have to work for. But when you lose like a couple $100 playing poker, like it's not gonna change my life. You know what I mean? But the winning does change your life if you win the way that I was winning at the time. And in 2009, I had a big win streak like that too, when you could still play on Poker Stars in full tilt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, poker's in general. I started getting into like sports betting. I was parlaying and shit. I won a 13-game parlay bet for $6.80. I had my last $6.80 on there. I put it on a 13-game parlay. It was the same weekend this past year that Nebraska and Ohio State played, when Ohio State beat Nebraska real bad. It was that weekend. I nailed the 13-game parlay. $6.80 bet. I turned that into $1,900 because I nailed a 13-game parlay. I mixed college football, NFL, and NBA. I mixed 3 different sports in there.
I've got a fun one. This was UFC Fight Night 40. This was like my first big win in MMA gambling. Yeah. I did a round robin bet because there were 4 underdogs I liked for the card. I bet Zach Cummings to beat Jan Cabral. I bet Ed Herman to beat Rafael Natal. I bet Neil Magny I bet Darren Cruikshank to beat Eric Koch. And I bet Matt Brown to beat Eric Silva in the main event. So I also bet each fight individually. So first fight, Zach Cummings just smothers Cabral, and then Cabral gasses, and Cummings ends up winning a decision.
Were these all like underdogs?
Every single one of these guys is underdogs. Then Ed Herman wins against Rafael Natal, another decision. I'm getting real pumped. Then Darren Cruikshank knocks Eric Koch the fuck out in the first round. So I'm 3 for 3. 3 for 3, you're already making a good chunk of change. So I was guaranteed to win about 1,000 at that point. But
wait, so you don't have to win them all?
What it does is it wasn't just a single parlay. It was a round robin parlay where it was all 4 are parlayed together in groups of 2, 6 different bets. Plus, I also bet each one individually. So even if if the first 3 win, that means you hedged your bet. I get you. Yeah. So if the first 3 win, that means 3 of those parlays already hit, and those are underdog parlays. So I mean, the odds go through the roof if you parlay underdogs. So I mean, I was already up $1,000, but then the main event, if Matt Brown beat Eric Silva, then I was going to hit 3 more parlays plus my Matt Brown bet, and that would have made it just fucking ridiculous. So, and Eric Silva comes out just guns blazing, and he like just starts smashing on Matt Brown, and I'm panicking. We're watching it over at Mike Favreau's house when he was living in Oak Harbor. There's me and Kevin and Mike, and I don't remember who else, but we're getting drunk, and all of a sudden Matt Brown starts turning the tide, and Eric Silva starts to gas, and I'm just screaming, "Come on, you motherfucker! Fucking kill him! Fucking get him, you motherfucker! Come on, Matt Brown, you fuck!" And I'm just screaming at the TV, and Eric Silva just starts slowing down, and then he just becomes a punching bag, and Matt Brown is just fucking him up in the 3rd round, and I'm like, get him, you fucking get him, give me my money, Matt Brown. And I'm just screaming, and finally the ref jumps in and stops the fight, and I just throw my drink in the air, and we're jumping around hugging, and we went to happy hour, and I think I spent like $150 there. I bought like everybody's drinks.
So when Matt Brown won, how much did that jump you up to?
It was like 4,500. So I was pumped. I was excited.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome. There's nothing better than free money, right?
That was a good night, man.
I know, man. I can't even talk about this stuff anymore because it's just giving me the itch.
All right, football season's coming.
I'm not betting anything other than football. I don't bet other sports. I'm not a degenerate. Although, I'm not a degenerate. What do you think? Except for what we're gonna have my intro gonna be? Brandon Sharples, a man who would bet on
a gambler so degenerate he would bet on two babies fighting over a dead cat.
Oh my
or
God.
2 toddlers fighting over a dead cat.
Yeah, something like that. Something interesting. We got to get that going. We need a new one.
Yeah. Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for a new intro. We'll maybe put the word out, see if people would be interested in a new intro.
But. Shit. Oh, man. That was great. But, no, actually, one time we were gambling. We were playing poker at Dom's house. And it was I was, 19 maybe? I might have been 18, honestly. And I was getting my ass kicked, right? It was when I was still learning the game, and I was trying to, I don't know. I was playing like shit. I remember I sold that motherfucker one of my Abercrombie track jackets. He goes, "Wow, that track jacket looks pretty cool." It was probably the coolest shirt you got, huh? I was like, "Yeah." All right. He's like, "This thing was $100." He's like, "All right, I'll give you $40 for it." I go, "What?" He goes, "I'll give you $40, but you have to play poker with it." So I sold my shirt to him for $40. Played poker with it. And still busted. So he basically just got a free shirt from me.
Wasn't there one night where you spent your college money or something?
No, dude, that's a myth. That is a myth. Oh, I remember somebody said that.
That was a myth, that rumor that people were spreading around.
Yeah, dude. That was a bullshit myth. That never happened. It was that night. It was just that night. And it was just I just sold down my Abercrombie shirt.
I don't know how that exploded all the way up to you cashing out all of your college money.
Yeah, that is. Whoever said that's a jack off. Give me a break. Never happened ever. Oh Jesus! All right, hey, let's talk NBA contracts. I think they're overdone.
Dude, I think James Harden might have fucked over Houston for the rest of eternity.
They're trying to trade for Melo right now.
Dude, they're not going to be able to afford shit for a long time. Did you see the contract they gave Harden?
Yeah. He makes $500,000 a game. A game, dude. Yeah.
That is disgusting.
No, thank you. No, thank you. But I'll tell you, these NFL
4
players,
years, $170 million.
Yeah. They don't make enough money. The
$42 million a year. $42.5 million a year
to play basketball,
and he couldn't even carry them past the second round.
No, they lost. They lost to.
How could they possibly expect
San Antonio
to win when they're dumping that much money into one player who's not even that great?
Well, they traded for Chris Paul, and now they're trying to get Melo. So they're going to have a little big three.
Well, having Carmelo is not going to help at all. He's garbage.
Yeah. I mean, he's a decent
when has he won anything anywhere?
Never. Ever.
And he's had good players around him, too. He has no excuses. He's just not that good.
Yeah. So back to the NFL, Richard Sherman's talking about, he's the only way the NFL players will ever get paid like that is at least got to be willing to strike. Could you imagine if the NFL striked and they wouldn't have any games? I wouldn't even watch sports. I'd probably watch college football, but I couldn't stand not having football. That would blow.
Well, that's really what happened is the NBA's had how many shutdowns in the past 20 years? At least 2.
Couple. Yeah, MLB
and
had
NFL
2?
Never has. I mean, NFL, the players get a lot of money, but you got to remember, NBA, they have 12 players on their roster.
Yeah, they got
NFL, they got 53 plus practice squad.
No.
So even though they're making,
I get the logistics, but I mean, I still think they should be able to pay the stars.
NBA, they play 82 games. NFL, they play 16. So you got more players, less games. NBA, and that's why baseball players make so much goddamn money. They play 162 games. So, I mean, that's why those guys are raking it in. If they were in a sport where they were capable of playing a shit ton of games and being able to play multiple times per week, they'd be making more money. I mean, that's their choice, though.
The NFL is still pulling in more revenue.
Well, that's because of how much people watch when it is on. And how much people watch just to see practices and the drafts. It's primetime television. It's a big deal, but it's just a sport where you can't have a long season. It's just people won't last. It's too brutal. Yeah. So, that's their own fault. But
plus, you get with the NBA, right? You look on the all-time paid list right now. LeBron's at 6. He's getting paid less than Mike Conley.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I don't think LeBron's that worried about it. He's making so much from endorsements. What did he sign? $1 billion lifetime deal with Nike?
Yeah. I mean, he will be.
LeBron's fine. I think LeBron will be just fine.
Yeah. I get it, man. I mean, I don't know. I just think that the contracts are a little bit overblown. Tyler Johnson last year got $70 million. Tyler Johnson got $70 million.
Dude, JJ Redick is making $22 million for this next season. He signed a 1-year, $22 million contract.
Why is that deserved?
That's insane for a guy that basically just shoots 3-point.
Dude, I do got to talk about some college football shit that came up, though.
All right, let's hear it.
So, the Ole Miss coach, Houston Nutt, the old one, he filed a lawsuit against Ole Miss. And basically, he threw Hugh Freeze under the bus. Hugh Freeze is the coach for Ole Miss right now. And he's already in kind of deep shit because of all those allegations of paying players' families and, all the NCAA violations. So they got throwing the hammer at him, Ole Miss. And he is surprised that they haven't fired Hugh Freeze yet. So basically he was alleging that Houston Nutt's alleging that Hugh Freeze had off the record conversations with other sports journalists as part of a smear campaign against him. So basically he's basically accusing him of misconduct with the media. So Hugh Freeze, on top of the misconduct with the media, was, he's caught up in the scandal for paying players and paying players' families under the table to get them to go there. So he's got a lot of shit going on him. I would be surprised if Hugh Freeze survives this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think about all that kind of stuff when it comes to coaches and getting caught paying players and stuff?
Dude, I think everybody in every college system is doing something shady because it's a fucked up system. These guys are all basically showcasing for money that they're about to make in the NFL, all the best players. And a lot of teams throughout the years have done all kinds of shady shit to get these guys to come to their schools and to get these guys to stay at their schools. I mean, this is just
I told you this.
I know.
I already told you this.
These guys need to be paid. I think these guys need to be paid.
Yeah,
I think college, with how much money they're raking in, they absolutely need to be paid. So you know what? Fuck it. Let these guys pay all these kids on the side until they decide to just start paying the players because they deserve it.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm a coach,
the fucking coaches are making what, $15-20 million a year?
No,
and the players are on a scholarship.
No, they're making I think Urban makes $5 million a year. That's what they're still getting paid a lot of money. But for real,
$6 million. And the top guy, Jim Harbaugh, is making $9 million a year.
Yeah,
that's $9 million from his school that they could be spending on something else.
That's not even including assistants that are getting paid a couple hundred.
Oh, I know. That's just one player. Yeah, Hugh Freeze is making $4.7 million.
What I'm talking about is me personally, as a coach. If I was a head coach, I would do the shadiest shit ever to get these top players.
Exactly.
Who gives a shit? I'll tell you what, I would, if I had the extra money, I had a booster that would be willing to cut a check, I would pay the top prospect in the country's parents to live.
Everyone will remember the championships.
Everybody will remember the championship. And like, unless my players are like beating women or like raping women or like doing some fucked up shit, dude, I would definitely sweep some shit under the rug for my players. I don't even care. I'm going on record on that.
Got fucking just raked over the coals because he didn't stop his players from like trading money for free tattoos for memorabilia and shit. Give me a fucking break. That is not even that big of a deal. And then like the guy told Jim Tressel about it and Jim Tressel didn't do anything. Of course I wouldn't do anything. It's nothing. They're getting tattoos. They're not even paying them. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, dude. I thought that was kind of crazy, but I liked it because he got fired. It was funny.
I don't mind now that we got Urban Meyer, but Jesus. That was some bullshit.
No, but for real, I would don't even look in my direction for any sort of moral compass when it comes to like,
Florida
recruiting players.
Florida had some serious shit.
I do not care. I'm telling you what. If I had a Heisman
like Urban Meyer,
hold on, dude. I'm telling you something. Fuck Urban Meyer in Florida. If I had a quarterback who was a Heisman finalist and I caught him like snorting coke off a stripper's titty, I still would let him play. I have no care in the world for that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, unless he's doing some seriously violent crime, I would always sweep shit over the rug because everybody wants you to win. And guess what? If I don't get those 10 wins 3 years in a row, I'm getting shit canned. And then I have to move my family to another city and in some other place foreign to them in another part of the country. I'm losing $2.5 million a year. You're goddamn right. I'm going to let my fucking players drink and smoke weed if that's what they're doing, and I'm going to hide it because that's your livelihood and it's not hurting anybody. So what's the point? That's why these coaches do
all the time. Like the UFC will hide injuries from commissions, hide occasional drug tests from commissions. Like Brock Lesnar tested positive for steroids before his fight against Mark Hunt at UFC 200. You bet your sweet ass that the UFC let him fight Mark Hunt at UFC 200 because it's Brock fucking Lesnar. And Mark Hunt was pissed, but who cares?
Because he knew what he was getting.
No, he didn't know. He filed a lawsuit afterwards. He's fucking furious.
No. He filed a lawsuit after he got fucking beat, and he didn't. And after he's talking shit, he was talking shit about him doing steroids before the fight. He was talking shit about.
Yeah, but he expected that if he got caught with a test, that he'd be pulled from the fight. So no, Mark Hunt was pissed.
Okay, he's such a bitch. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of those NFL players that are like 80 now and that got dementia and shit. And they're like, oh, fuck, I'm broke. I better sue the NFL for a couple million saying I had no idea I could fuck my head up playing football, getting smoked by 250-pound dudes every day.
He had a point. I mean? The UFC knew a guy was cheating, taking steroids in a sport where you take steroids, you're going to do more damage to your opponent. And then they let that fight happen. No, he has every right to file a lawsuit. And he's still fighting. Wow. He's not being a bitch about it. Like, it's not like he's just sitting out trying to get paid. He's just trying to teach the UFC a lesson about it. And I think he's right.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get any money.
He probably won't. But, I mean, at least.
Same with those NFL guys. I don't think they should get a goddamn dime. I'm sorry. Maybe you can pay for their medical bills, but don't pay these dudes millions of dollars because I had no idea. Really, you had no idea that like some of the strongest people on the entire planet smashing you in the fucking head on a regular basis for 10 years is bad for your health? You knew damn well. These dudes would get smoked, puke on the field from concussion symptoms and tell their coach, kick me out, I'm going to fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. And all of a sudden they're like,
same thing in MMA and boxing.
We only made $55,000 for my entire NFL career because I played back in 1942. You know what I mean? They played in the 60s where there wasn't even a Super Bowl yet, and they're broke now, and nobody knows or gives a shit who they are. So now they're like, I have to make some sort of money. So let's talk about concussions. Let's sue the NFL for concussions. I hope they don't ever get a dime, ever. Period. Ever. I hope that the only thing they get is their medical bills paid for. I hope they never get a dime. For real. They
we
knew
got to
what the
remember
fuck
part
doing.
of it. A big part of that was the fact that the NFL found out how dangerous concussions were, and then they didn't do anything about it. And they tried to not just hide it, but fight it and fight the guy that had made the discovery. So no, they have Will a case.
They fought Will Smith, right? No, dude, I don't care. Of course they're going to hide that. They're going to hide it because they weren't going to make as much money if they changed the game. They thought,
and
they thought that they'd be liable for.
You know what? They changed the game and they're making more money than ever. So
I'm pro big business.
I'm pro big business. I'm pro business as long as they're not just fucking over people just to get an extra couple bucks.
Every big business in the world, period, has fucked somebody over at some point. Ever.
So, what's your opinion on net neutrality?
I think that's horrible.
What?
Net neutrality. I think it's horrible what they're trying to do. I think they can't regulate the internet.
That's about big business. Big businesses want to do the exact same thing about that. They want to make people pay for you to have good internet. They want to pay for you to go to the specific websites.
Dude, I get it. I know. I just read this article actually today.
I know.
But listen,
today was the stand against the FCC kind of day.
Yeah. No, I don't have to agree with everything the business do. I'm talking about you just have to face reality of how you get to certain places. That's why they always say shitty people have big money. Like the shittiest people or the richest people is because the shittiest people do the things that the good people won't go to those lengths to do. And I'm not saying it's good or morally right. I'm just telling you what happens. And that's what happens. That's why Hollywood and so many terrible fucking people.
There's also a reason that those shitty people get sued, and sometimes they deserve to get sued. I'm not saying every time, but sometimes they do.
These people, I'll tell you, this is what happened. My grandpa, he worked at Davis Bessie, and he got hurt. Something happened where they had some below regulation scaffolding, and my grandpa fell and destroyed his back for life. My grandpa won a couple $1 million lawsuit. They drug my grandpa through for over a decade through the courts, and by the time they found a settlement, my grandpa had to pay his lawyer so much money that my parents' family, my mom's family, only got $20,000 total out of $5 million. Yeah, so that's what they do. So even when you hear about these people he won a $2 million lawsuit, yeah, he's gonna get appealed for the next 10 years. They're not gonna see that money. People don't pay shit. So that's just the way the world works. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you what it is. When it comes to this internet regulation, at the end of the day, they'll probably win because they're going to pay the right amount of people, right amount of money to the right amount of people.
I think enough people are getting pissed off about it though. That I think they'll.
Well, at the end of the
every time
day,
it seems like they've got every time they try something like this, people have been able to get it shut down. So.
I hope so. I do. That's pretty fucked up to try and make people pay for all that stuff. So, yeah, man. What else you got? CNN?
Yeah, let's talk CNN. Okay. This is a bit of an older story now, but I still think it's a big deal. And this is actually something where I'm going to be on Brandon's side for it. Donald Trump posted a tweet over a week ago, basically just a joke tweet of a video or a GIF from him in WWE tackling Vince McMahon, except somebody had taken the head of Vince McMahon and put the CNN logo on it. That's it. And CNN was so butthurt about this. They had no business to do this. They tracked down the guy that created the GIF and then found out who he was in real life and discovered that he had made some some racist jokes and anti-Semitic jokes on the "I'm going to hell for this" subreddit on Reddit, which is literally you just post shit that is taboo. That's what it's about, and it's funny.
Yeah.
The whole point of it is to make those kind of posts. And then they confronted him about that. and then posted an article saying that they discovered who he was and that they got an apology from him, the guy that created the Donald Trump CNN tackle logo. And then they said, we are not revealing who this guy is, but we do hold the option to reveal his identity if his behavior doesn't improve. Like, basically, they're blackmailing this guy from ever doing something like that again. And this is just one random person on the internet. People make shit like this all the time. So obviously, the response from the internet was, fuck you, CNN. And I've been on CNN's side with a lot of the shit they've been doing with Trump, but dude, this was fucking bullshit. This dude probably wasn't even that big of a Trump supporter. It was just some funny joke. And then you try to like ruin this guy's life over something like that. Fuck you. And dude, everybody was up in arms. Like Reddit, the whole internet just rallied against CNN. Like the journalists that wrote it, people are just shitting on him. Every article that CNN posted on Twitter, the responses were just, go fuck yourself, CNN. It was hilarious. Like, are you going to blackmail me? And people just making just way worse shit than Donald Trump tackling CNN. I mean, you don't fuck with the internet. Memes. You don't fuck with the internet. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, CNN's done, dude. I think they lost all credibility. So at this point, they're just kind of like the joke of the media. I don't think they'll recover from this for a long time.
Dude, their ratings are tanking right now.
They're getting rated below.
They're getting rated doing amazing. They were beating Fox News, like, because basically they were shitting on Trump with every one of their stories, and Fox News was like throwing a lot of like stuff that was real under the rug and not reporting about it. So people were just switching over to CNN. But then CNN just shot themselves in the foot so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think that I think they get rated below Bullwinkle cartoon.
I didn't see that. But
I know for a fact some cartoon, some old cartoon from like the 80s, their reruns were beating CNN's ratings for the last couple weeks. It was pretty interesting, man. I don't know. You know how I feel about CNN. They're just a bunch of fucking idiots, a bunch of Trump haters. Which is fine.
Yeah. I was pissed at them because they were so anti-Bernie too. So fuck those guys.
Well, listen. I don't have a problem with anybody hating Trump. That's fine. It's your prerogative. Like, you're allowed to do that. I'm not like, he's got issues. I'm not gonna lie. But they spent their entire agenda, their entire media they had just basically adopted this anti-Trump Russia policy. Push Russia, and it just basically abandoned any other media, any other like source of information from anything else worth a shit. They just kind of like covered it for one day, and then back to Trump, back to Trump and Russia. We got pushed the Russian agenda, and then they got all those people it was like 2 or 3 producers for CNN, like they were recorded secretly talking about how like the whole Russian thing with Trump's probably basically all bullshit, but they're being told to push the agenda for it and stuff like that. So, I mean, they lost all credibility. So basically you're at a point where CNN's irrelevant. And anything they say is basically going to be taken with a grain of salt now. So they've lost all their credibility. You know?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
No, I'm totally with you with the fact that they've been pursuing ratings instead of journalistic integrity. I'm always about journalistic integrity. Like, part of why I like switched careers with leaving MMA Mania was I was stuck doing like a whole bunch of copy and paste of other people's articles just because they were newsworthy, and I wasn't allowed to do my own original reporting and interviews and stuff as much. So I hate that.
Did you just hear that popping noise in the back?
Yeah, it was like a pop can opening.
Yeah, you know what that was? Cracking a cold one open for the boys.
There we go. No, so I've been all about journalistic integrity. Like, I never got a degree in journalism, but like journalistic ethics are a huge deal for me. Like, I hate.
I'm all about.
Yeah, I hate when people don't disclose like things that could have been a bias with the story, or that they have a relationship with something, or like all that shit. Like that just pisses me off. So yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember now. Basically, what I was gonna say is I'm all about journalistic integrity, but I'm not about being moral. I'm not about having morality when it comes to being a coach in football. So I guess I pick and choose when I have morals. Like I said, give me a couple convicts that can run a 4.40, but don't give me any shitty journalists. All right, yeah. I'm going to be a hypocrite on this, but that's pretty standard, right?
Yep. So, do you have any rants this week?
Not really. Okay. I have no rants.
No problem. Hey,
I mean, I know I'm too happy right now. I can't do my rants. I got good shit going on in my life.
All right, I got to figure out something. All right, this is a call to all listeners. You know, if you see Brandon, fuck his shit up a little bit. Give him something to get pissed off about. So,
man,
I do have some gems. I have a few.
All right, let's hear it.
So, all right, here we go.
Wow, winning.
All right. On this week's edition of Hem's Gems, I have a documentary I want you guys to check out. It's called What We Do in the Shadows. It's Australian. It's basically a mockumentary. It's like a comedy documentary. And these guys follow around vampires in Australia, and that are like hundreds of years old, that they have an apartment together in Australia. And it just follows around all the drama that has to do with their lives, dealing with, doing the dishes, the paying rent, going out at night, finding victims, dealing with vampire hunters, and then dealing with modern living, like from guys that were, from like the medieval times, and adapting to like internet and cell phones and shit. I mean, it's fascinating. It really is. It's hilarious. I watched it on my Amazon Prime account, so it's available there if you have that, or you can just find it anywhere. But What We Do in the Shadows is what it's called. You should highly recommend it. I loved it. It was great. I also watched that Disney movie Moana for the first time. It's super cheesy of me to admit this, but I loved it, and it was great. The songs were really good and catchy. You should watch it if you haven't already, but you probably have because it was super popular. But it was on Netflix, so I watched it, and I loved it. And then last but not least, let's see. There is a show on Netflix called Frontier. It's about the fur trade industry in the early 1800s, maybe late 1700s in Canada. And the HBC fur trading company and a bunch of English soldiers, and dealing with an Irish Native American hybrid person who is fucking over their trade and their trade with the Lake Walker tribe. And it's a 6-episode series, and it's really interesting. And Jason Momoa is the main character. I think you guys would like it. It's very violent, but it's just an interesting TV series, and it's only 6 episodes long. So if you don't like it, you don't have to invest that much time into it. But I thought it was pretty good. So those are my things: Momoa or whatever, and What We Do in the Shadows, and Frontier. So that's my shit. So those are Hem's Gems this week.
All right, I like them.
Nice.
Yeah, hey, everybody, same thing. Social media. Push us hard on Facebook, Twitter, whatever you got.
We're getting close. I think we're about to get 200 likes on Facebook. We're at 192. So spread the word, baby.
They say once you hit 200 likes, dude, you just bump up to 1 million within a couple of weeks. So
hey, it happens. It's real.
I'm good, man. That was a good show. Appreciate coming back.
Fuck yeah. And we should be back to 9 o'clock next week. I know we said that last time, but we mean it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, you get your choice. You want some Bag Raiders or you want some Rick Astley outro music?
What do you want?
I feel like Rick rolling some bitches.
All right.